From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Saskatchewan's ombudsman is slamming the provincial government's help for wildfire evacuees. Sharon Pratchler says some evacuees are sleeping in their cars after being told the government will get back to them in 4 days. Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency Chief Marlo Pritchard says the agency has now brought in 14 more staff to address the backlog of calls.
The demand outweighed or overwhelmed the ability to keep up. And so now we've had to staff up and we will address it. So it's like everything. When you identify a gap, you do your best to close it as quickly as possible.
He says the weather is cooperating to help fight the fires and some folks have returned home. Officials in Squamish, BC warn an out-of-control wildfire there is threatening 3 neighborhoods near the Sea to Sky Highway. The district of Squamish has declared a local state of emergency as firefighters try to fight back the flames. Canada's Auditor General says she's concerned the federal government still lacks qualified pilots to fly the new F-35 fighter jets Ottawa has on order. Karen Hogan warned the government more than 6 years ago it didn't have enough pilots trained. She says little has happened since to address that.
Something needs to happen to fill the gap for trained pilots and to have the infrastructure ready, because right now the interim measures are only going to see additional costs.
Her audit of the F-35 program also says the jets will cost $8.7 billion more than the initial price tag. Defense Minister David McGuinty largely blames the ballooning costs on the COVID-19 pandemic affecting supply chains. A Quebec judge has halted the criminal case against Montreal billionaire Robert Miller because he's too ill to stand trial. Miller faced sex-related charges involving 11 women, many of them minors, at the time the alleged offenses occurred. The judge says it is not an acquittal, but a permanent end to the court process. Prime Minister Mark Carney was joined by MPs from all parties today on Parliament Hill as he raised the pride flag. Carney noted the backlash around the world against progress made to protect the rights of LGBTQ+ people. Environment and Climate Change Canada says all of Canada is in for a warmer than usual summer, with uncertain precipitation levels for most provinces. Warning preparedness meteorologist Jennifer Smith says the above-average heat could appear in a variety of ways.
In some places, it might come as one major heat wave. In others, it could be recurring short warm spells, or just a subtle, consistent warmth that pushes seasonal averages up, enough to nudge the stats, but not always noticeable.
Smith says the modeling was unable to come up with a reliable rain forecast for most of the country, but much of Alberta, British Columbia, and parts of Saskatchewan could see below normal levels of precipitation on top of the heat. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Montreal Canadiens defenseman Lane Hutson has won the Calder Trophy as the NHL's Rookie of the Year. He led rookies in scoring with 66 points as the Habs made a surprise return to the playoffs this season. The Edmonton Oilers are back at the drawing board after last night's ugly 6-1 loss in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. Edmonton winger Corey Perry says it's time to turn the page.
You have to flush it. The next one's the biggest one, and that's how we think about it is, we lost the game. Get ready for the next one. Move on.
Meanwhile, the NHL has fined Edmonton defenseman Jake Wallman a total of $10,000 US in 2 separate incidents in last night's game. He was fined $5,000 for punching Panthers forward Matthew Tkachuk and another $5,000 for squirting water at Florida's bench. In baseball action, the Toronto Blue Jays can clinch their 5th straight series win when they take on the Cardinals tonight in St. Louis. Chris Bassett is scheduled to start for Toronto. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.